In a single shipyard, in less time than it takes America to build one carrier, China is constructing a nuclear supercarrier that may be larger than the USS Gerald R. Ford, and it has 2 shipyards capable of doing it. On May 21, 2026, CSIS released satellite imagery confirming China's Type 004 nuclear carrier is rapidly taking shape at Dalian, a 286-meter hull, 46 meters wide, already larger than the Fujian at a comparable stage, with 4 electromagnetic catapult troughs visible and reactor containment structures in place. Meanwhile, the US Navy's next Ford-class carrier, the USS Doris Miller, has been delayed 2 years to February 2034, a 15-year build time. The Pentagon assesses China aims to field 9 carriers by 2035. America is struggling to maintain 11. This is the carrier manufacturing race. And it is no longer a question of whether China is catching up, but whether the United States can afford to fall behind. At Dalian Shipyard in Liaoning Province, what the satellite imagery reveals is a hull that looks like a battleship in dry dock. The Type 004's 286-meter structure sits inside a graving dock with rust-stained concrete walls, 3 massive yellow-orange gantry cranes towering overhead. The flight deck is flat, not a ski jump like its predecessors, with 4 long troughs cut into the surface, each one housing an electromagnetic catapult system. The reactor containment structures are visible as cylindrical protrusions amidships, confirming what analysts have long suspected. China is skipping the conventional power step and jumping directly to nuclear. That places the USS Gerald R. Ford directly in its crosshairs. The Ford is 337 meters of nuclear-powered steel, 100,000 tons displacement, 4 EMALS catapults, an island superstructure set far to starboard, topped with the AN/PY-6 radar array. Her deck is packed with F-35 Charlies, Super Hornets, and Hawkeyes, 75 aircraft in full operational order. But the Ford took 12 years to build. China's Fujian took 6. And Type 004 is moving faster than any carrier in Chinese history. The first round goes to visual presence, but the real contest is what comes next, the raw material that makes these steel leviathans possible. China's carrier steel comes from domestic mills like Ansteel and Baosteel, where Hessler 100 and Hessler 1115 naval-grade alloys are forged from iron ore mined in open pits across the country. That steel travels by rail and coastal shipping to Dalian and Jiangnan shipyards. China has 2 shipyards capable of full carrier construction, a global monopoly on dual-site production. The United States, by contrast, sources HY100 steel from suppliers like Newport and Saab, mined from the Mesabi Range in Minnesota, moving by rail and barge to Newport News, Virginia. But Newport News is the only shipyard in America that can build a nuclear carrier. One facility, no redundancy, no surge capacity. That single point of failure is the most brittle link in the entire US carrier enterprise, and the raw material chain only amplifies it. The transportation phase reveals the industrial geography of each nation. China's modular construction moves prefabricated hull sections, some weighing hundreds of tons, by coastal shipping to Dalian and Jiangnan, where they are lifted into dry dock and welded into recognizable carrier sections within months. The logistics are national, integrated, state-directed. America's superlift sections, weighing up to 800 tons, are assembled at Newport News itself, a process subject to workforce shortages and component delays. In the 3 years from 2024 to 2026, Newport News hired 3,000 new workers just to keep pace. China's total shipbuilding workforce is estimated at over 200,000 across all naval construction, and the state can move that workforce wherever it is needed. China's system is built for scale. America's system is built for precision. And in a protracted naval contest, scale may prove the more enduring virtue. Now we enter the forge, At Dalian's heavy fabrication hall, CNC plasma cutters carve 50mm thick steel plates, sparks showering across a concrete floor stained with oil and coolant. Overhead bridge cranes rated at 600 tons move fabricated sections into position. This is where China's manufacturing philosophy becomes visible. Speed, iteration, scale. The yard operates 24 hours a day. The modules are assembled, welded, and moved to the dry dock in a continuous flow. At Newport News, the heavy fabrication is equally dramatic, but fundamentally different. Three-dimensionally printed components sit alongside traditional fabricated steel, a hybrid of old and new. The workers are dwarfed by the scale of the carrier sections, but the difference is not in the equipment, it is in the rhythm. Newport News builds one carrier at a time, then the next, with a 12 to 15-year cadence. Dalian and Jiangnan build concurrently, learning from each hull, compressing the timeline with every iteration. That difference in tempo is the most underappreciated metric in this entire rivalry. Precision assembly is where technology depth is decided. In China's clean rooms, electromagnetic catapult systems are integrated under controlled conditions. Workers in cleanroom suits handling precision electronics. The environment is clinical, controlled, quiet, a sharp contrast to the fabrication hall. The same scene unfolds at Newport News. Cleanroom integration of the Aegis combat system, EMALS catapult motors, and nuclear reactor compartments. Both nations are integrating the most advanced systems ever fitted to a carrier, linked to complex AC-based motors and delicate wiring. While China claims its domestically developed system is superior, neither system has been proven in sustained combat operations. The analysts are divided, but they agree on one thing. The United States still leads in overall systems integration and combat-proven architecture, while China's rapid iteration suggests it may close the capability gap faster than anyone anticipated. Final deployment. A Chinese carrier battle group in the South China Sea, Type 004 at center, J-15 and J-35 fighters, spotted on deck in folded wing parking configuration. Deck crews in colored vests direct aircraft movements under bright tropical sunlight. The carrier's island superstructure topped with phased array radar panels. Escort vessels form a protective screen in the blue-green water. This is the operational reality of China's carrier ambition, a regional power projection force designed to contest the Western Pacific. In contrast, a US carrier strike group on global deployment, the Ford conducting sustained flight operations, F-35 Charlies launching from catapults, E-2D Hawkeyes circling overhead. This is global power projection, the ability to appear anywhere, dominate any adversary, sustain operations indefinitely. And that is the strategic consequence of the manufacturing gap. China is building carriers to win one fight, the contest for the Taiwan Strait and the South China Sea. The United States is building carriers to win every fight, anywhere on the planet. But if China fields 9 carriers by 2035, and the United States cannot maintain 11, the calculus changes. The United States may still have superior combat experience and global basing, but numerical parity in the Indo-Pacific would deny it the operational freedom it has enjoyed for 70 years. The head-to-head metrics are stark. Build speed. China's Fujian took 6 years. America's Doris Miller will take 15. Shipyards. China has 2. America has 1. Fleet targets. China aims for 9 by 2035. America is struggling to sustain 11. Displacement. Type 004 is estimated at 110,000 to 120,000 tons. Ford class is officially 100,000 tons. China leads on raw production volume and industrial capacity. The United States leads on qualitative output, nuclear propulsion, larger air wings, combat-proven systems. But the gap is narrowing on a timeline that favors Beijing. The manufacturing philosophy contrast is fundamental. China builds for speed and scale, learning from each hull, compressing timelines, deploying 2 shipyards to outproduce a single American yard. The United States builds for maximum capability per hull, refining quality and incorporating new technologies, but facing increasing build times and workforce constraints. The strategic implication is clear. In a protracted naval contest, China's industrial base, estimated at 230 times the capacity of the United States, means it can outbuild America. The United States retains the qualitative edge, but a fleet of 9 Chinese carriers by 2035 would fundamentally alter the balance of power in the Pacific. The open question is not whether China can build them, the satellite imagery confirms it already is, but whether the United States can reconstitute its industrial base and accelerate production fast enough to maintain its numerical advantage. The answer may determine who controls the Western Pacific for the next generation.
This video is created for educational and informational purposes using advanced AI tools and human creativity. All concepts, scripting, and storytelling are independently developed in pure originality. Visuals and animations are generated or enhanced using AI technologies such as View 3, Meta AI, and Grok AI. While final editing and post-production are completed using CapCut and other professional editing tools. No external created content has been copied or reused. Any resemblance to real world environments, factories, or processes is purely coincidental. All scenes shown in the video are digitally created and do not represent real footage. This content is produced with transparency and follows YouTube monetization guidelines.